Hello guys, welcome back. Now in the previous video we looked at how to update status by storing the status in parse with the user's username. Now in this one we're going to look at exactly how to update our homepage with the latest status as soon as they are created, or as soon as we land on this page. So if you think about it for a second, each status is going to be an object. We're going to pull in a table view here, and each table view will have a row. In each row, we're going to put an object, a status object. This. We're going to grab a new status, the user, the time, and not the time, but if we needed to, or and an icon, and we're all going to put those in into a single cell right here. So we're going to put each status in a single cell, and we're going to order them according to the time they were created, so the latest first. So let's go ahead and do that. First we're going to need a table view. So a table view is pretty much like what you just see right there. It's a list. So we just put a table view there, and then we try to make it fit. Okay, still big. Oops. Now with that, I'm gonna pull that here, and then now let's align it. So 0 from the top, -16 on the sides, and 0 at the bottom, and then add the 4 constraints. Don't worry about the width and height because that will change according to the size. So now we have a table view. If I run this, nothing happens still on the home page because pretty much there's nothing happening. So now to start working with this table view, we need to connect it to the to make this controller as the data source and its delegate. And we'll be talking about the delegate in the next actually right now in the next few minutes. So there we have a table view. As you can see, it just has nothing, and we want to populate status in there. And so each status is going to be in an array. So we're going to populate an array of objects in there. Now, the first thing we're going to do is make this view controller the data source for this table view. If you don't do this, you won't see any action happening to your table view. So we need to pull it and just, let me just release that first and then do it again. So you just right click, make sure you select the table itself, and then right click data source, and you drag it to the home view, and then delegate, you drag it to the home view. And now that should work. And then, so another thing that you need, this is the home view controller, so we should be working with the home view controller here. So this is the one, home controller. Now, since we have the table view, we now need to drag this table to reference this table on the home controller. So we just drag it in there again, just like we've been doing all along. And we're going to say home table view. Connect that. And then, now there's some functions that are available for table that you won't find it here. So you have to use its delegate. So to do that, we have to put a comma there on the class, right here on the class, and then we say UI table view delegate. So the UI table view delegate has some functions that are going to be useful. It has a helper functions that will be helpful when working with the table. Now to see the functions, you can hold on command and then drag your mouse over it, and then click and you'll be able to see all the functions that are available for the table view. Takes a second here. Yeah, sometimes it does that, but yeah, you can wait if you have you're doing this as well. Now we're going to be needing two functions from the table view delegate, and that is the number of rows in section and the cell for row index path. Another one that we're going to need also is the did select row at index path. So these are useful for variety of things. So let's go check them out real quick. Let's type them out, and then we could start seeing how they function. So this function is called I can just start saying table view, and then scroll down. It starts with an n num, and as you can see, it's not there. What we can do is okay, so you could reference the docs, or you could just try that again by clicking command and clicking that, and there we have it. This time it has opened faster. So, and then scroll down and then look for that. It starts with an M, so I'll just use Control F and then num rows at index path. This is the one. Num of rows at index path. So it should be 2. Of rows at index path. So this is the one. I'm going to copy this and then paste it in here. Oh no, not that. You know what? I'll just type it out. So I'm going to say func table view, and then get rid of this, and I will say number of rows in section. Thanks. In section, and then I'll call this section int, and this returns an int, and then the code that goes in here is get rid of the one func in there. Then now this one should work. So let me just, this one is useful for number of rows of rows. Excuse me. So my computer just froze there for a second. Okay, so there we have the number of rows, and we need to return something. So let's return about 7 for now. You know, just we're going to change that with the number of items in parse. Another function that we're going to need is cell for row index path. So let me see if I have this. I hope we do have this one. Okay. Control F, and then cell for row and index path. There you have it. Perfect. This is what I want, and then just paste it in there. And then this is going to, this is responsible for populating each cell. So we need this method. You could, you don't have to understand it right now, but we just need this for, this are helper methods for our table. And then another one that we're going to need is on list item, is for list item click. That's the under, it's called did select a row at index path. So on table item click or row item click. Table row item click. We want another one called did select. So table view, and then this is another way you can autocomplete table view. So we have deselect, so be careful with that. So it's one did select, and then the code here to do when a row is selected. Now, so we have those help of methods that we need for the table to work, and we've connected to our controller via the delegate and the data source. So now we need to call the Viewdidload method now. So Viewdidload, so this is what happens when the view has loaded. So what we want to do here is when the view has loaded, we want to query the data from parse and store it into an array in this class, and then use those arrays and then use them in this codes right here. Okay, so the Viewdidload, we grab items from parse and then we hold them in our array in our class right here. So we're going to create 3 array variables that are empty, and then we're going to grab all those data from parse and then append them into this arrays, and then grab this arrays data and then populate into our cells and take action from there. I hope that's really clear. So Viewdidload, we want to query parse. So how do we do this? We say I just like writing comments, query all status objects, and then we're going to say var query status equals to pf query, and the class name is I need to check parse so that we don't confuse. It's status with a capital S, and then we say in here, pf query, and then let's use this auto completion, and then we say status, and then we say query status or status query dot order, so order by descending. Now this is going to order from the latest to, when you say you order by created at, and this is the created at key right here, the created at this key right here. So we're ordering by created at, and then we say those queries, find them in background, query status dot find objects in background with block, like using block, and then you just click that, double click it, and then this auto completes for you. Any object is object, that is the name placeholder to hold that for object, and then this error is for NS error, and then right here we say if error equals to nil, else. So if error is nil, found objects, found statuses, in that you can say status or objects, status objects, whatever works. And then here, no objects found, or status objects. And then I'm going to say, now let's first of all okay, so for each item, so you know what, let's print out let's print out the objects that we have in there. We say objects.count to count how many objects parse is going, iOS is going to print, is going to get at one time. So here I'm going to say, I'm going to kind of comment this for now so that we don't have that error. and then I'll work with them later. So for now, let's just query this status and then populate that and see what we get. So I'll click that and then make this as the initial view controller if it's not, and it is, so I'll leave it at that. Okay, so, and as you can see, we have an error here. That is because I must return a cell for in the index path. Okay, so I see home view controller. What we will do is instead of returning 7 here, we'll just uncomment all of this. This is why it's not happening. I'll just uncomment all of this for now. So let's try this. Okay, another error. Now this one, this time is unrecognized select number of rows in section. I wonder why. Okay, probably. Let me just uncomment this again, you know. It's a trial and error thing. And then I will say here I will create a cell. Let's create a cell. Let's my cell equals UI table view cell, table view cell, and then we say what do we need to give to the table view cell for it to work? We say as a matter of fact it's this, and then we say table view style dot default, and then the string to be identified is cell, and then here we say return my cell. Let's try that. So okay, so the reason why we're getting an error is because of the cell forward index path. So basically what I need to do is first of all put a cell in here. We don't even have a cell, so return my cell. So before I do that, as a matter of fact, let me just drag a cell in here, table view cell, just put a cell in there, and then you could drag it and resize it to about 100 or maybe 90, and then we give this cell a reusable identifier right here. We say we could just call it cell or my cell or status cell, you know, we just say status cell excuse me, and then now we come to say here var my cell UI table view cell equals to table view dot DQ cell with identifier. Identifier string is status cell, and then I don't think I need this, and I will say as UI table view cell, and then down here I say return my cell. Now this should work if I'm not wrong. Let's try this. I really hope. Okay. And this one, as you can see, we have 100 here results and 7 tables if you count. Now that is pretty good. If you, this is 100 status, so that is pretty good. We're about to start populating them. So this is something useful to remember. You need to create a cell, to drag in a cell and give it a cell identifier like this, reusable identifier. So if I click that cell, make sure you select it. This status cell identifies it, and we could reuse it. So in the next video, we're going to see now how to create custom, the cells for the custom statuses, how we created in Live Update. So see you in the next video.